Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Again, I am your host, Keisha Lancelin. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. In this segment, we're going to learn a little bit about some of these data centers we've been hearing about. I'm here with Jim Diretto. Thank you so much for your time. It's kind of a confusing time, I've got to say. We see a lot of protesting around some of the data centers, but we don't always know what that's about. Can we teach us a little bit about what we should be concerned about?
I think there's a general consensus that artificial intelligence and data centers have a great deal of benefit for everything from medicine to business to security, et cetera. But at the same time, data centers take up massive amounts of energy and water. So those are the two critical elements, energy to power all the computers and water to cool the systems. And that can impact communities.
What early signs should communities be watching out for when we're hearing about these things coming up in our backyards?
Right. Well, in Georgia, there are some 56 data centers that are in operation, but Georgia is number three in terms of the planned number of data centers. 340 are planned to go into the state of Georgia, number three behind Texas and Virginia. And obviously, when you're looking at these massive amounts of power and water, let me give you an example. A medium-sized data center can consume as much as 5 million gallons of water per day in order to cool the systems. And that would be the equivalent of impacting 43,000, a population of 43,000 people. So a good-sized town. And so therefore, the trade-off of who gets the water, how it's used needs to be addressed.
Can you explain to us a little what subsurface mapping is? We're seeing those terms pop up, but I don't think everyone understands it.
Sure. Well, when it comes to water, water is a critical element for everything from agriculture to things like data centers. And there actually is a vast amount of water underground. The National Groundwater Association has estimated that there's some 6,000 years of supply of water in the upper layers of the Earth's crust. And today now we have the technology, my company has the technology to precisely locate where that water is, how deep it is, and how much there is. So when it comes to agriculture or data centers, what would be important is to look for and use the technology to identify the supplemental sources, because we already have water we're using from lakes and rivers and precipitation, but then there's this other reservoir of water that is available if you find it, and we can find it.
Are there things that communities can do now to kind of mitigate the stress on our water supply at some point?
Well, many communities are doing things such as wastewater treatment, and some cities near the coastline use desalination and that sort of thing. But what by tapping into the deeper water, the water that has been not been utilized, then that's a supplemental source. And we call it the missing link, the missing piece in the puzzle for water supply. And this could mitigate the issue with not only data centers, but future population growth and water supply and agriculture.
Thank you so much for making time for us here in Atlanta. Before you go, is there a place on the web that we could go to learn a little more?
Sure. We have a website named aquaterrex.com, and it's AQUATERREX.com. So we have case studies and lots of data.
Jim, it was good to meet you. Thanks for making time for us here in Atlanta.
Thank you, Keisha. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, guys, lots of things popping up, data centers, to the north of us, to the south of us. And we all just need to be a little more educated about what that means for the rest of us, for our water supply. Please take the opportunity to visit the website, learn more, and stay tuned to more Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back.